you see a 72-year-old Tendai monk on Mount Hiei, kneeling on a wooden temple floor at 6 a.m. He presses his palms together, bows forward until his forehead nearly touches the ground, then rises back to standing without using his hands. He does this 50 times, every single morning. No pause, no strain, fluid, controlled movement. In the United States, 73% of people over 70 cannot get up from the floor without assistance. Many avoid kneeling entirely. This monk hasn't eaten solid food in 19 hours. He won't eat again for another 3 hours. He's followed this pattern, 1 or 2 meals a day, all before noon, for the past 48 years. Yet at 72, he has better muscle definition and functional strength than most 45-year-olds eating 6 meals a day with protein supplements between each one. How does a Japanese monk eating before noon maintain more muscle than someone half his age eating all day long? Studies of Buddhist monks and religious practitioners in Japan have documented remarkable health outcomes. Monks practicing traditional fasting patterns maintain lean muscle mass and functional strength well into their 70s and 80s, with metabolic markers resembling those of much younger adults. No protein shakes. No gym memberships. No calorie tracking. Meanwhile, in the West, muscle mass declines 3 to 8% per decade after age 30. By 60, the average American has lost nearly 30% of their muscle. Despite spending hundreds of dollars monthly on supplements and fitness programs, the difference? A meal timing system unchanged for 1,200 years, combined with movement patterns built into daily life. Here's what's coming. In the next 15 minutes, you'll see 3 mechanisms: the fasting hormone cascade that preserves muscle without supplements, the nutrient compression window that triggers growth, and the movement integration that maintains strength without formal exercise. At minute 8, I'll reveal what bodybuilders inject artificially and how monks trigger it naturally every single day. At minute 11, you'll discover the one mistake that makes intermittent fasting destroy muscle instead of preserving it. 70% of people who try fasting make this error. And by minute 14, you'll know the exact eating window and movement pattern to start tomorrow morning. Let me show you what happens inside a monk's body between sunrise and noon. At Enryakuji Temple, founded in 788, the routine hasn't changed in over 12 centuries. Monks wake at 3:30 a.m., 30 minutes of meditation. Then, takuhatsu, the arms round. They walk 5 to 10 kilometers through mountain trails before the sun fully rises. No food yet, just water or unsweetened tea. By 8 a.m., they've walked uphill, carrying a wooden bowl that weighs 2 to 3 kilograms when filled. They return to the temple, perform Samu, physical work, sweeping halls, hauling water, maintaining buildings, still fasting. Finally, between 10 and 11:30 a.m., they eat. 2 meals within 90 minutes. Miso soup with vegetables and rice. Then grilled fish or tofu, more rice, pickled vegetables. Real food. Substantial portions. Total calories, 2,000 to 2,500. Consumed in under 2 hours. Afternoon? Nothing. Only water and tea until the next morning. This creates an 18 to 20-hour daily fast, every single day, for decades. Here's what that does to your hormones. When you don't eat for 16 to 20 hours, insulin drops to baseline. Low insulin signals your pituitary gland to release growth hormone. Growth hormone levels spike 300 to 1,200% during extended fasts. A study from Intermountain Medical Center and Stanford University in 2024 found that a 24-hour water-only fast increased growth hormone 5 to 12-fold. Those with lower baseline levels saw increases up to 1,225%. Growth hormone does 2 critical things. It preserves muscle mass by preventing protein breakdown, and it accelerates fat burning to provide energy. But here's the key. Growth hormone only spikes when insulin is low. Fat doesn't trigger insulin. So, monks drink tea in the morning, sometimes with a trace of oil, and stay in a hormonal fast even while consuming minimal calories. Now compare that to typical modern eating. Breakfast at 7 a.m., insulin spike. Snack at 10 a.m., another spike. Lunch at noon. Afternoon snack at 3 p.m., dinner at 7 p.m. Late evening snack at 10 p.m. Insulin never drops. Growth hormone never rises. Your body never enters the state where it prioritizes muscle preservation and fat burning. A Danish study from 2001 tested this directly. Researchers suppressed growth hormone during a 40-hour fast. Muscle protein breakdown increased by 50%. Urea nitrogen, a marker of muscle loss, jumped by the same amount when growth hormone was allowed to function normally during fasting. Muscle breakdown decreased significantly. The takeaway is clear. Fasting without growth hormone elevation destroys muscle. Fasting with growth hormone preserves it. And monks have been triggering this mechanism 365 days a year for their entire adult lives. Before we go deeper, try this right now. Tomorrow morning, don't eat breakfast immediately. Drink a glass of water or green tea instead. Wait 30 minutes. Then check your hunger level. If you're ravenously hungry within those 30 minutes, your body is sugar dependent. Insulin is spiking and crashing. You're burning glucose, not fat. If you can go 2 to 3 hours without intense hunger, your body has metabolic flexibility. It can switch between fuel sources. Monks who fasted 20 hours daily for 40 years, they wake at 3:30 a.m., walk 10 kilometers, and don't think about food until 10 or 11 a.m. Their bodies are so fat adapted that hunger is barely a signal. They eat because it's time, not because they're desperate. That's the first mechanism. Fasting elevates growth hormone. Growth hormone protects muscle during the fast. But fasting alone won't build or maintain muscle if the meal you eat is nutritionally incomplete. That's where the second mechanism becomes critical. Here's what modern meal timing misses. Your body doesn't need proteins spread throughout the day. It needs a threshold dose of amino acids delivered in a short window to activate muscle protein synthesis. That threshold is roughly 30 to 40 grams of protein consumed within an hour. Eating 10 grams 6 times a day doesn't work the same way. The signal isn't strong enough to trigger the cellular pathways that build muscle. But eating 50 grams in one sitting creates a massive anabolic spike that lasts for hours. At Enryaku-ji, the meal structure follows a precise pattern. First, they eat a light portion. Miso soup, steamed rice, pickled vegetables. This is called breaking the fast gently. It signals the digestive system to prepare. 15 to 20 minutes later, the main meal. 2 palm-sized portions of protein, grilled mackerel, tofu blocks, sometimes eggs, 1 to 2 fists of rice or barley, more vegetables. Total protein in that sitting, 40 to 60 grams. Total carbohydrates, 80 to 120 grams. Total calories from both meals, 2,000 to 2,500. Everything consumed within 90 minutes. Then the eating window closes. This is compressed nutrient loading with protein prioritization. When you eat one large meal after fasting for 20 hours, your insulin sensitivity is extremely high. The carbohydrates and amino acids get shuttled directly into muscle cells instead of being stored as fat. The spike in amino acids, combined with the insulin response from carbohydrates, activates mTOR. That's the cellular pathway responsible for muscle growth. Modern bodybuilding tells you to eat protein every 3 hours to keep muscle protein synthesis elevated. But muscle protein synthesis doesn't work like a steady drip. It works in waves. One large wave, triggered by a high-protein meal, is just as effective as multiple small waves. The difference is that the single large wave happens when your insulin sensitivity is maxed out from fasting. Nutrients are used more efficiently. A 2024 meta-analysis published in Nutrients examined time-restricted feeding combined with resistance training. 164 participants across 7 studies. The result? Fat mass decreased by 1.52 kilograms, but muscle mass did not significantly decrease. In fact, the study concluded that time-restricted feeding has unique potential for preserving fat-free mass. The eating window didn't matter as much as the fasting window. Whether people ate from noon to 8 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., the results were similar. What mattered was the extended fast and adequate protein intake during the eating period. Monks before noon eating is just one application of this principle. Here's a test you can do over 2 days. Day 1. Eat your normal breakfast tomorrow. Then track your energy levels every 2 hours until bedtime. Note when you feel sluggish, when you need snacks, when you crash. Day 2. Skip breakfast. Drink green tea or water. Break your fast at 11 a.m. to noon with a substantial meal. Protein, carbohydrates, healthy fat. No food after 2 p.m. Track your energy the same way. If day 1 is a roller coaster and day 2 is stable, your body responds well to time-restricted eating. Your blood sugar regulation improves when you compress eating. If day 2 feels terrible, you need more adaptation time. Start with a 14-hour fast and gradually extend. Now let me show you what most people get catastrophically wrong. Remember at minute 1 when I said I'd reveal what bodybuilders inject artificially? That substance is growth hormone, synthetic HGH. Bodybuilders pay thousands of dollars per year for injections that elevate their growth hormone levels. Here's what the fitness industry doesn't tell you. Your body produces more growth hormone during an 18-hour fast than most people get from eating 6 meals a day. And unlike synthetic injections, your natural production doesn't cause side effects or require medical supervision. Growth hormone preserves muscle, burns fat, happens automatically when insulin is low. The monks discovered this 1,200 years before science could measure it. They didn't need labs or blood tests. They just observed. Fasting monks stayed strong into old age. Constantly eating monks got weaker. The truth was in the results. But here's the trap most people fall into when they try intermittent fasting. Most people who try intermittent fasting do the fasting part correctly. 16 hours, 18 hours, even 20 hours without food. But when they break the fast, they eat a salad and grilled chicken breast. Maybe 400 to 500 calories total. Their body interprets this as starvation. Metabolism slows. Muscle breaks down for energy. They feel weak, tired, irritable. Within weeks, they quit, convinced fasting doesn't work for them. But it wasn't the fasting that failed. It was the refeeding. Monks avoid this trap entirely because their meals are massive and nutrient-dense. They're not restricting calories. They're compressing them. A monk might consume 2,500 calories in his 2 meals. That's enough to signal abundance, not scarcity. The body responds by maintaining muscle and burning fat for fuel. Here's how to detect if you've fallen into this trap. If you've been doing intermittent fasting for weeks and you're losing strength, feeling cold, or getting weaker during physical tasks, you're undereating during your refeeding window. The test is simple. Can you perform the same physical activities you could before you started fasting? Lift the same weights? Walk the same distance without fatigue? If not, you're in a catabolic state, breaking down more tissue than you're building. The monk's rule is this: fasting is not restriction, it's concentration. You don't eat less food, you eat the same amount of food in a shorter time. The benefits come from the hormonal state during the fast, not from calorie reduction. At minute 3, I mentioned the mistake 70% of people make with intermittent fasting. Here it is. They fast correctly, but they don't eat enough protein in their refeeding window. Your body needs a threshold dose to trigger muscle protein synthesis, roughly 40 grams minimum in one sitting. If you're eating once or twice a day, that meal must contain at least 40 to 60 grams of protein. Otherwise, your body doesn't receive the signal to build or maintain muscle. People eat a 300-calorie salad, wonder why they're losing muscle, then blame fasting. It's not the fasting, it's the inadequate refeeding. Monks consume 40 to 60 grams of protein in their main meal. Fish, tofu, eggs, legumes, combined with substantial carbohydrates and healthy fats. They eat until satisfied, not stuffed, satisfied. This signals to the body there is abundance. Maintain muscle, burn fat. Now let me give you the complete protocol monks use. Here's the 3-tier progression over 90 days. Tier 1, Foundation, days 1 through 30. Wake up, drink water or green tea, no solid food yet. Morning walk, 20 to 30 minutes, fasted, comfortable pace, just movement, light housework or errands. Stay active, don't sit for long periods. Break your fast between 10 a.m. and noon. Start with something light if your stomach is sensitive. Soup, a piece of fruit. Then within 20 minutes, eat your main meal. 2 palm-sized portions of protein. Fish, eggs, tofu, chicken. 1 to 2 fists of starchy carbohydrates. Rice, sweet potato, barley. Vegetables. Healthy fat from natural sources. Close your eating window by 2 p.m. if you're just starting. You can tighten this to noon once you adapt. Total eating window, 2 to 4 hours. Total fasting window, 20 to 22 hours if you finish by noon. 18 to 20 if you finish by 2 p.m. Do this 5 days out of 7 in your first week. Build to 7 days by week 3. What to expect? The first 7 days feel hard. Hunger before your eating window will be intense. Movement helps. Green tea helps. By days 10 to 14, hunger aligns with your new pattern. Within 30 days, most people lose 2 to 4 kilograms. But more importantly, energy stabilizes. Sleep improves. You stop thinking about food constantly. Tier 2. Enhancement. Days 31 through 60. Now you tighten the eating window. All food consumed before noon. Increase your morning movement. 45 to 60 minutes. Add light resistance. Carry a small backpack with water. Walk uphill if terrain allows. Add functional work, gardening, cleaning floors while squatting instead of bending, carrying groceries. These mimic the Samu practice monks do. Increase protein slightly if you're very active, 60 to 80 grams total across your meals. After eating, sit still for 15 minutes. Deep breathing. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and optimizes digestion. Monks do this instinctively. What to expect? Body composition shifts noticeably. You lose another 2 to 3 kilograms, but your muscle mass maintains. You see definition. Strength in daily tasks improves. Tier 3, Mastery. Days 61 through 90 and beyond. This becomes your lifestyle, not a program you're following. You wake naturally around the same time. Walk or move in the morning. Eat your meals before noon. Fast until the next morning. You can adjust the window slightly for social occasions. Eat before 2 p.m. on weekends if you're dining with family. The principle, eating early, fasting long, matters more than rigid timing. Once per week, extend your fast to 24 hours. Water only. This deepens the growth hormone spike and maintains metabolic flexibility. By day 90, you've lost 7 to 10 kilograms if you had weight to lose. Your body composition has transformed. Lean muscle, low body fat. Energy is consistent all day. You're not doing intermittent fasting anymore. You're living like the monks. At minute 6, I said you'd understand why this practice survived 1,200 years while modern programs fail in weeks. Here's the principle. Modern fitness treats nutrition and movement as separate from life. You track macros, you schedule gym sessions, you meal prep 6 times a day. Then you wonder why it's unsustainable. Monks don't separate eating from living. Their fasting window aligns with their most active hours. Their eating window aligns with rest and recovery. Their movement isn't exercise. It's how they maintain their temple, their garden, their lives. Everything serves multiple purposes. Nothing is wasted. When your eating pattern is built into your daily rhythm, you can't fall off the wagon, because it is the wagon. That's the timeless wisdom. Don't add fasting to your life. Make your life align with natural rhythms. Let me bring this home. Tier 1 gives you the foundation. Wake, drink tea, move for 20 to 30 minutes fasted. Eat 2 substantial meals before 2 p.m. Fast until the next morning. Within 30 days, you'll feel the difference. Tier 2 refines it. All food before noon. Increase movement to 45 to 60 minutes. Add functional tasks. Within 60 days, your body composition visibly changes. Tier 3 makes it permanent. This becomes your natural rhythm. No tracking, no apps, just living. Within 90 days, you move and feel like someone 10 to 15 years younger. Here's what we face in the modern world. We're told muscle requires constant protein, 6 meals, shakes between meals, eating within 30 minutes of training. So we spend $100 to $300 monthly on supplements. We track every macro on our phones. We're obsessed with timing, grams, ratios. And yet muscle mass still declines. Energy still crashes. Weight still creeps up. The Japanese monks show us something different. Fasting isn't starvation, it's hormonal optimization. The fast elevates growth hormone. The compressed meal delivers concentrated nutrients when your body is primed to use them. No supplements, no tracking, no dependency on products. Once you learn it, it's yours forever. The core difference? Trust. Monks trust their bodies to preserve muscle during fasts because they've seen it work for generations. We've been taught not to trust, to override natural signals with supplements and constant feeding. These 3 practices teach you to listen again, to trust again. Here's what you do starting tomorrow. Tonight, finish dinner by 7 p.m. Nothing after that except water or tea. Tomorrow morning, don't eat breakfast. Drink green tea. Go for a 20-minute walk. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. or noon, eat a substantial meal. 2 servings of protein, carbohydrates, vegetables. Eat until you're satisfied. After 2 p.m., close your eating window. Water and tea only. Do this tomorrow, then the next day, then the next. After 7 days, check in with yourself. How's your energy? How's your hunger pattern? How do you feel? Keep going for 30 days. Take photos. Measure your waist, not just your weight. After 30 days, you'll have the foundation. After 60, transformation. After 90, you'll understand why centenarians eat this way. Because it makes you feel capable, independent, strong. One thing to remember, this won't work if you don't give it time. You didn't lose muscle overnight. You won't rebuild it overnight. But unlike every program you've tried, this system doesn't have an end date. It's not 6 weeks or 12 weeks. It's the rest of your life. And that's exactly why it works. If you want more Japanese wisdom for aging with strength and grace, subscribe to the Zen Way. Every week, practices like this one. Ancient wisdom, modern science, real results. Drop a comment and tell me, what time will you eat your last meal tonight? And what time will you break your fast tomorrow? Share this with someone who's tired of depending on supplements, who wants real, sustainable strength. Remember that 72-year-old monk on Mount Hiei, kneeling on the temple floor. He's not counting macros. He's not tracking protein intake on an app. He's not worried about his eating window. He's just living. The way his teacher lived. The way monks have lived for over 1,000 years. And he'll wake up tomorrow at 3:30 a.m., walk his mountain trails, and eat his meals before noon. You can do the same, starting tomorrow morning. The ancient Japanese didn't discover a secret hack. They simply aligned eating with activity and rest with recovery. Your body already knows how to do this. You just need to let it.